Hello and welcome to Pardon the Interception, Season 38, Week 14, with your hosts, myself, Lee Wood.
Myself,
Week 15,
week 15.
week 16.
Bowl Week.
It's a week.
It is a week, and let's
Riveting
take
week.
a look at the bowls.
Cereal
Who
bowl.
wants to actually behave? Here we go. Starting off with the Guffle.
Yeah. I'd like to point out that one of us said the Blaze would get to the bowl.
No, they didn't win the bowl, though, did
Yeah, but 50% ain't bad.
they? Yeah. It was a good close game, though.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
interesting.
It's what happens when you push the Dark Lord aside.
Yeah. And they definitely had their chance to win the game. Did the Blaze.
Yeah, and especially when they were winning the turnover differential as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a few less yards than the circle got each play, but yeah, no good showing from both teams. So
Yeah, one of the field goals was a touchdown. Then they're looking at overtime instead.
yeah. So congratulations to Carl. Commiserations to Chris, of course.
Anything else on this before we move to the Atlantic? Hey, on to the Atlantic.
Only a few points in this game.
Just a few.
It was a quiet one.
I'd like to point out that I picked the Razorbacks.
You did indeed pick the Razorbacks.
They'd say they'll play the Avalanche, not the Stampede, but I call that close enough.
And I don't think either of these coaches really believe in defense, it seems.
No. Why would you? What's the point? What is the point, though?
Yeah.
The Razorbacks' return game was pretty good as well.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. The returns are pretty nice.
This might be the highest scoring bowl game ever.
It's got to feel bad if you're Wasson, right? 400 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns, and you lose the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I seen, are any of these related to the Mustard Man? That's the real question.
Perhaps they come from the same school.
They're all from Norwich.
The Norwich School of Sport and Culinary Condiments.
Yeah.
Anything else before we move on? I mean, special teams definitely gave Brixton an edge.
It was nice to see two teams really going at it in the bowl game. So
yeah,
congratulations, Dan. Commiserations, Matt.
Mm.
Now, did we predict this right? We did.
They just decided to play like the first quarter and then sort of pad it out a little bit later on in the big sky.
Definitely some irregular betting patterns on this match. That's what was going on.
I mean, turnover differential could have changed the game if that wasn't as.
I think the MVP award says it all. Like 5 sacks from on a catamaran, and that probably did it for them. So.
Do we believe Conrad saying that he thinks this is the swan song of the team?
He said that last season and the season before and the season before, if I remember rightly. He definitely said it at least once or twice before.
He does say he's got 12 key players turning double digits, so it will be difficult to keep it going.
He's got a player getting older than Gary Lyon.
No, that's triple digits.
Oh, sorry.
Congratulations to Conrad for 247 consecutive wins.
Yes.
And if the Rivets do age off of a cliff and can't trade in replacement players, I would say the Hornets are looking strong for winning next year's bowl.
What have you been smoking, Lee? The Rivets are winning next year's bowl.
Anything else before we move on to the Continental? Close game, double Dan.
Okay, point out I called this one as well.
You did indeed. You are definitely the oracle.
So the big thing was the Badgers had the ball at the end of the game and decided to throw it. So they threw it to the opposition. We just carried on running.
Yep.
Give.
That'll be better.
So is that?
It is unusual to see the Badgers getting more yards passing than they did running.
Yeah. Definitely lost their way in the final.
But yeah, the best helmet in the game wins a bowl. And Dan gets a double.
Yeah. So
The lack of Anguissa probably made the difference.
yeah, that kind of helped. The backups aren't quite up to speed. So
right, on to yet another boring bowl. The Lee Aaron Bowl.
You say that, but only one of us predicted it.
I know.
Just got to point that out as well.
I think
it's week 3,
it's
You said the Hornets were getting to the bowl, Lee. Just FYI.
Yeah. That's because I believe the hype.
I think that's because you got the B and the D confused.
well, the Lone Stars took the lead in the first half and then decided to go home.
Yeah.
First half team.
Mistakes were made.
I liked that Aaron obviously went for the full-on ground game. Lee has quite a good pass defense. It nearly worked.
Once again, turnover differential may have been the deciding factor.
Does seem that way.
Yeah, just couldn't get anything going in the second half. Just a touch away from field goals and stuff each time.
I think Kendall needs to refill his Xanax prescription or Adderall, whatever he's on, to calm him down. But yeah, nice close. All relatively close bowls so far. Let's take a look at the Empire.
Lee's obviously already seen the result of the Empire.
Yeah.
Close bowls so far. Bang! Welcome to the Empire.
It's close. It's close in the first half, to be fair.
Yeah, it was quite close until the Seahawks did a Lajola and just didn't turn up for the second half.
Yeah. And then District 12 Storm remembered they were coached by Whittingham.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I feel like the running back probably did a bit more than Junkhausen did, but I guess the 2 fumbles have counted against him for the MVP award.
Mm.
I wonder if he has the showman attribute as well. No.
So,
shall we have a quick look at the college bowls?
No.
Yeah, go for it. We did predict them after all. We spent hours umming and ahhing over.
I predicted every single one correctly.
I couldn't tell you what I predicted. So
I know you pick Death Valley in the Yukon Death Valley.
I did definitely pick Death Valley. It was 2 on theme.
Don't think I did that, Lee.
I felt like I picked Paddington, but beyond that, I have no idea who I picked for the others.
But all I can remember is I picked Monterey because you never bet against them. But about that,
There's a lot of
everything
close
else-
games there.
Yeah, College Bowl's definitely looking quite close.
It's quite hard for a team to get too far above other teams, right? So it's always relatively close.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way the bowls are, they're designed to try and keep them close.
So, yeah, a little disappointed that Death Valley didn't win the Dust Bowl, and also that Chasm City couldn't get like their second bowl win for the weekend.
Yeah. So, what does that mean for the most important competition of the year? So, we've seen the week 1 results before, week 2, where I took a bit of a dive, and then a bigger dive in week 3.
Not as big a dive as me in week 4. I knew I had
No.
to try and catch Simon, so I had to be a bit controversial and hope for the best.
But what does that mean? Simon with his 3rd win. I think for the first time, I didn't come last.
It's all about that 11 out of 11 at the Atlantic.
That was
It
pretty
is
nice.
impressive.
The Atlantic's the most predictable league. That's what we learned here.
Well, yeah, looking at these, it looks that way.
And the Empire's most unpredictable, which is why it's the best.
Yeah. It's funny how like the 2 more established leagues are more predictable than the rest of the leagues.
It's also because we know the people a bit better, probably.
Yeah, I
I've
guess.
met them in person. I've spoken
Yeah.
to their face.
Is it also possibly because they're the most stable leagues in terms of coaches?
True, you kind of know all the coaches largely, right? There's no new people to try and factor in.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a change in the guard in those 2 leagues in terms of who made the bowls, though. So wasn't straightforward.
Anything else before we bring the bowl special to a close?
We get any cereal in my bowl special.
If you want, but I've only got shreddies.
That's all right.
So we don't know how long the season break's going to be. Hopefully, R and R are both good, and looking forward to the draft whenever that occurs.
I think they might be going for Smar and R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that terrible joke, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Lee.